when usefulness replaces truth. Hello, my name is Jewel. Many people believe they live by what is true, but in practice, if we look under the surface, many people live by what keeps things useful. They choose what prevents conflict. They choose what maintains approval. They choose what keeps relationships functioning. Over time, the human operating system can begin using this usefulness as its primary filter. When that happens, usefulness may replace truth. This video explains how that shift occurs structurally and why it creates internal contradiction even when life looks functional from the outside. In this series, truth refers to what is recognized when perception is leading. The full internal sequence was discussed in earlier videos. Perception recognizes. Direct knowing stabilizes. Intuition contextualizes. Emotion responds. Thinking articulates. Coherence settles. Action emerges. Truth is recognition that stabilizes without pressure. Usefulness refers to what preserves continuity. Usefulness answers questions such as this: what keeps the situation stable? What avoids disruption? What prevents consequence? What maintains connection or approval? Now, truth and usefulness can overlap, but they are not the same filter. Truth is signal-based. Usefulness is continuity-based. As I have discussed before, the human operating system prioritizes continuity. When the system anticipates friction or consequence, it begins selecting behaviors based on what will preserve stability, not the truth. This shift usually happens gradually. A person recognizes something, then the operating system evaluates unconsciously. If I follow this truth, what will it cost? Will this destabilize the relationship? Will this change how I am seen? Will this create conflict? If the predicted cost is high, the operating system selects usefulness, not because truth disappeared, but because continuity became the priority. Over time, the operating system learns which behaviors maintain stability and repeats them. This is how usefulness becomes dominant. When usefulness replaces truth, several patterns appear. People become highly functional, but internally strained. They maintain roles to keep others comfortable. They manage reactions. They avoid direct recognition if it would require change. They say yes while internally recognizing no. They explain away what is recognized in order to preserve stability. Externally, life may look consistent. Internally, contradiction increases. When usefulness replaces truth, the system preserves stability through suppression. That suppression creates load. It requires ongoing management, monitoring reaction, anticipating conflict, maintaining identity consistency, being reliable, preventing disruption. Over time, this produces fatigue, resentment, and loss of clarity. The burden is not only the task, it is the continuous effort to remain useful while suppressing what is true. When truth becomes primary again, the system does not collapse. It simplifies. Internal contradiction decreases. Roles that were maintained for usefulness begin collapsing. Decisions become clearer because the operating system no longer has to maintain two tracks: what is recognized and what is performed for stability. Usefulness may still exist, but it becomes secondary. The system begins organizing around recognition rather than continuity protection. In closing, usefulness and truth are not the same filter. Usefulness preserves continuity. Truth stabilizes recognition. When usefulness replaces truth, a person may feel functional, but internal contradiction increases. The cost is ongoing management load. As the series continues, the next videos will show how identity and role structures loosen without crisis once truth becomes primary again.